Hello everyone that we connect. I'm here again, this time talking with Carles Mayol from Port of Barcelona. I invited Carles to talk with us about, the challenge of the Port of Barcelona, everything that they changed in the last year, but especially talking about the future. I like to see what's going on in the coming future and how the Port of the Barcelona is thinking of supporting not only the freight forwarders but all the supply chain community. So, Carles, thank you so much for accepting our invitation. To start our conversation, can you tell us a little bit about what you do in the port, your position, and make an introduction about yourself, please?
Okay, thank you very much for the kind invitation, Guillermo. It's my pleasure to be with you and share our thoughts and our impressions and what's the port challenge, the port we are facing on, for sure. Uh, First of all, I would like to introduce the port before of
Please.
me. And as you probably, most of you know, the Barcelona port is based in Spain, and but on top of that, Barcelona port has a privileged location in the middle of the biggest and industrial logistics Europe, as in Europe and in the Western Mediterranean areas for sure, and are based in a strategic position because is taking care of the huge hinterland that concentrates, roughly speaking, more than 50% of the Spanish GDP. And the main characteristic is that we are taking care of the high add value. Okay, this is something that we would like and underline. But on top of that, I mentioned Spain, but we are taking care of the French market, the soft French market as well. So at the end of the day, we are a multi-country port providing or offering the proper marketplace in the West Med for sure, with a very well comprehensive and reliable connectivity for the end users for sure, and trying to provide the supply chain competitiveness and customer orientation. This is our, let's say, in brackets, our obsession, that during last 2 decades, we put our best effort to provide this competitiveness and customer satisfaction. Much more recently, and after that, I mean that we will talk about it. We launched our fourth strategic plan, and we add some additional concepts that this is something related. It's very, very significant for us that the Port Barcelona is fully committed as well with the sustainable economic, social, and environmental development. This is something that we are putting our best effort, our best resources to develop in the upcoming years. Talking about Carlos, well, Carlos holds a 20 years experience in the port industry. I was in the private sector, in the shipping lines or carriers or freight forwarder and stevedore companies as well. And 10 years ago, I joined the Port Authority, and I'm holding the position as a commercial manager. And roughly speaking, my main task is to be quite close to the end users for sure, all stakeholders in the supply chain for sure, promoting the infrastructure, the services, the new projects, always focusing on the container business and intermodal flows. And well, we are quite close with the big BCOs, freight forwarders, carriers, terminals, all the relevant players involved with the supply chain. We are trying to do our best to be close to them. So this is, as an introduction, I mean, this is something that we line underline.
I think it's you have a lot of work to do, but I'm pretty sure it's not that difficult to sell the Port of Barcelona because the port say by himself, it's a very good port, very good location, as you said. And what I like is the mentality. I was there once, so I know the port, I know the city, and what I like about the port is taking care of, also thinking about the community, not only in the services, but in the city itself, the community and everyone around. So that's a very nice job, and that's a good thing that the Port of Barcelona does. But Carlos, in the last year, I'm sure the logistics face some other challenge, big challenges in the last year during the pandemic. We had other challenges in the past, but the pandemic situation was one of the biggest one in history, not only for ports, but the supply chain community. itself. How this challenge change the daily operations in the port? Because we have all the forwarders here, they are all your clients. They know a lot of things change in a forwarding perspective. A lot of things change for us as a network, but how we change inside a port. It's something that you can tell us that changed it.
Yeah, for sure. Well, first of all, I would like to put it out that as a port, we are a gateway port, more close to the, let's say, we are not a transshipment port. We are not focused on to be the largest port in the surrounding area. It's not our case. We are obsessed again with how to provide competitiveness, reliability, flexibility to our end users and for sure to the entire supply chain. This is from the very beginning. So this is the milestone of our port for many years, and appears the COVID-19. The focus of the port was exactly the same: how to continue providing or assuring the service in the port, trying to minimize the infectation chain. That this is something that could be an oxymoron, okay? Because if you were working in the same level on the same paths, probably you are not doing proper way of work to maintain the health in your surrounding and so on. So in that period of time, I remember March, April, and so on, putting some specific measures in the port area, together with the stakeholders, together with the terminals, with the whole entire supply chain stakeholders. Imagine the ship agencies, the freight forwarders, the warehousing companies, customs, transportation companies, whatever. Every single one was very involved. And as a port, we were leading the measures, and it was at the beginning it was not easy. I remember some guys from the office, from the back office, were at home, front office were in the port area. I remember we established some degraded service in terms of shift gangs, rotations, staff segregations, in terms of duties for sure. We provide individual protection equipment, acquiring products all around. The terminals did their best in terms of how to disinfect the machinery between the shifts. I remember pilotage, stowage, and mooring services, and Marple as well, in the same sense, providing and assuring the service in order to doesn't stop any single moment to port as a conveyor belt. This is something that we would like to thank you to all the community. But on top of that, let me underline that as a port, and thanks to our port community systems, Portic, we continue remote working or house arresting. I prefer to use this word, with no disruption in the port. So it was not easy. For sure, we suffer from the very beginning a significant drop in terms of flows and total throughput. But at the end of the year, we start the recovery, and well, it was something not easy to apply for the next future, for sure.
Oh, I can imagine, because everything was so fast. Was nothing that was in your plans. Also, for any company in the world, we had plans in the beginning of the year of last year, and then suddenly March came, and then we had to change everything. Was necessary to adapt some physical thing in the port, like the place where the containers get in. They were trying to be using more or less humans in some process, some manual process, and trying to change it for more automatic ones. Was necessary some change in the port to continue working?
Well, it's not an easy question, but that's for sure that the technology, I already mentioned how was the role of the port community system in our case, how the role of the semi-automate of one of our terminals were continues working the other way, and the other way around, the other container terminal in the same sense. But in any case, I mean that the digitalizations technology is a key, it's a key milestone for the sector, not just for now and for sure for the upcoming years. And we were teaching or learning a lot from this particular period of time. And for sure, the lesson is could be that in the next future, for instance, to give you some examples, the machine learning can learn from ourselves how to optimize our work, how to distinguish the important or the significant data in order to provide improvements in the daily operations in the port. So uh, digitalization, data, for sure, devices involved with will provide you and will provide us all around a significant reduction. For instance, let me put some examples in the waiting times for trucks in the access of the port, or in terms of or regarding the infrastructure. I'm thinking about how the productive models can help us to provide some forecasts in terms of traffics in order to growth, in order to build up the proper infrastructure to adapt to this new reality. So I mean that at the end of the day, Ralph, trying to summarize, digitalizations and technology is a huge tool, is a huge device, or to improve our reliability, flexibility. That, remember, this is our main goal as a port, not just focusing on from the maritime point of view in terms of port productivity, that it is for sure, but in the whole, on the entire supply chain, this is something that we are quite aware in this sense. So, and I mean this new reality that the COVID, let's say, skyrocket in all the top of minds of all ports. This is something quite important. On top of that, for sure, the measures as a port of Barcelona, we did it in terms of economic mobilizations that we decided last year to help the entire supply chain in terms of concessionaires and the supply chain players and end users. But this is another file. I mean that in any case, again, digitalization and technology as a new reality to improve our efficiency and to provide flexibility as well.
It's very important to you say that, Carlos. We and Twig, we are always thinking about that. And of course, all the members know we launched recently the Twig Analytics. Is a data information for all the members understand how the membership is going inside our network. It's about sharing information and data, not only for our companies, but as you said, for the community itself, and technology is coming. And I agree with you. It's not only for the freight forwarders, it's not only for ports, but it's for the truck companies, for shippers, from consignees, all of them. They should be using that to reduce the mistakes and etc. I'm pretty sure you said already that all of this process was accelerated by the pandemic. We have learned a lot with that, and of course, this had to make you and all the Port of Barcelona team sit on the table and say, okay, we had a challenging year last year. We could see that things can change very fast, very fast. So all the plans had to be talked again. Like, let's talk again about the plans, because maybe our plans had changed. We changed our plans. For example, we are doing this virtual conference. We are supposed now to be together, all the Twig members and Mexico, drinking some beers together, but we are here. So we changed our plans. How the situation and change it, and how is the plans for the coming years as Port of Barcelona thinking for the logistics community?
Well, again, I mean, it's you mentioned how the transparency and collaboration as a new values, not just in the supply chain. I mean, in the all top of mind, all around. And I mean that the automation and artificial intelligence are driving a profound changes in this sense, in all sense of economy, areas at the end of the day. And thanks to that, I'm fully agree with you that as a port of Barcelona, we create the concept together with other ports for sure, but we have our own model or our own notion of a smart ports in terms of how to provide more open and efficient model in terms of port and logistics process. And this is something to underline, how to collaborate, how to share data, how to improve our let's say logistics operations in the port. And for sure, using technology to automate processes. I'm thinking about or connecting various different stakeholders in the port community area, sharing transactions, reducing the bureaucratic processes to be the procedures will be easier, faster, and reliable, because at the end of the day, end users, freight forwarders, and all, the entire supply chain are knocking the doors for a more, let's say, easable, traceable in the supply chain. I remember many years ago when the port community systems was arrived in the port of Barcelona, we drew something, is named, is called Crystal Box, where you can search all relevant data about your container passing through the Barcelona. This is something that we launched in the middle 90s. But this is the nowadays, in short, trying to summarize, we are thinking to evolve towards to a more efficient and sustainable port, because at the end of the day, the intention is provide a non-stop service 24 days, hours a day. So, and we need data, we need reliable information, we need to share with all relevant players to reduce times, to be more efficient, to be more flexible. This is something that we are sharing with container terminals, that for sure nowadays they are using some sensors to catch up the information. And after that, we are sharing, we are collecting different data. Containers arrive. The container is already custom clearance. The warehouse is open. Why not to share this information in order to provide relevant data to a better decision making? So this is, at the end of the day, the concept of what we are doing. And thanks to this concept of the smart port, the port community systems that for us is a key milestone for us, we developed this, our let's say our own model of the smart port that are trying to follow different, in terms of different dimensions, logistics from the, I don't know, I put some examples of how the terminals are automated in Barcelona, mobility in terms of the sustainable management of traffic of the trucks arriving to the port access and the terminal access to be more efficient. For sure, environmental point of view, that this is quite transversal for whatever kind of areas you are talking about. Economy, this is very important, how to continue contributing to the competitiveness through the innovation, through the why not the entrepreneurship and the internalization of our companies. People that for the time being at large were always not in the mindset of the companies or the ports, let's say, and try to get the social cohesions and governance as well. Because keep in mind that we, general, the ports are public bodies, and we have to take care, we have to take advantage of the current digital transformation to provide value to the society. And transparency, it's a key issue to get it. I mean, this is one of the most relevant challenges as a port we are facing on by far.
It's funny when you say that, because I remember years ago, information was considering something very important, and we should to keep this information only for us and not sharing with others. And now things are changing, Carlos. All this information, we know that now it's better to not hold only for you, but sharing with the clients, sharing with the suppliers. Only when we share information, we can understand where we can improve our companies in terms of efficiency or client satisfaction. So it's very nice when you say that the port is responsible and is thinking to be responsible of sharing this information with all the stakeholders. This is generating value. Plus all the services you're gonna do it, the operational service, you're adding value by sharing this information with the community, and that's important.
Yeah, that's for sure. We are strongly committed to lead and promote the innovation. So, and again, uh, thanks to our, let's say, our new recently launched strategic plan, we are focused on the innovation for sure. That it allows us to be is flexible, agile, and to continue to be efficient at the end of the day. And as a public body, it's our duty. So at the end of the day, this paradigm shifts that comes to bring us a new technology. As a Port of Barcelona, we understood that we are a relevant player as an agent to promote these changes and spread out to all the stakeholders involved with. And it's not easy because at the end of the day, we have to will to move people, to move some ideas or let's say mindsets, and in different levels. Imagine it's not the same how to attract or to be sexy. Let me use this word with a public body or with a private ones. For sure, we are involved. We are taking some relationships with other public bodies in the poor community, not just in Barcelona, all around, and in different sizes. Imagine a large logistics multinational corporation based in Barcelona, or the local small company that as well are a key player for us. So how to manage, how to provide the balance, to be involved with different players, and always trying to explain the advantages, providing training, always committed to be transform or to optimize the port management models. So this is quite clear. And in this sense, in terms of changes, we know that there are three pillars that we are focused on, providing our best efforts, resources, and so on. That it's very, very simple just to announce, just to call, but it's quite complicated to elaborate together with all the stakeholders. It's basically how to develop the changes in terms of energy transitions. We have a lot of challenges in the all maritime sector in terms of research, new fuels, in order to provide clean energy. Why not the circular economy involved with the municipality in Barcelona? Because at the end of the day, we would like to provide energy efficiency and how the electrification, the power generation will take a relevant um, milestone for the development of the port for right now, not for tomorrow, but for the next year for sure. And we mentioned already digitalization, how we can provide better solutions, for instance, in cybersecurity. 3 years ago, we suffered cybersecurity. We learned a lot how to provide the reliability, the standards in order to be ready for new ones. Efficiency in terms of operations, how the digital processes and products could help the end users and all the stakeholders to be more efficient and for sure to take better decisions. And again, open innovation. You know that Barcelona nowadays is the third favorite city for the startups in Europe to base or to establish in such case after if I'm not wrong, is after London and Berlin. The third one is it's Barcelona. We have a huge ecosystem and environment, startups and new companies focus on. Well, we have to take advantage because as a port, or we are not the entrepreneurs, but there we have entrepreneurs quite close. Why not mix? Why not balance? Why not introduce themselves in order to provide collaborations and partnerships and grow up and provide again efficiency and sustainable growth. This is something that we are focused on, and thanks to this new reality, we think that is affordable from our point of view.
Carlos, when you say about creating these kind of partnerships and this kind of community as the startup, as in Barcelona, this is the best way for me, under my opinion, to evolve the logistics companies. Logistics are a very traditional market, and we have a lot of traditional companies, and that's okay. But we need to be open for new conversation with new people trying to do different things. As you said, all these startups as a huge hub that Barcelona is for in Europe, it's important to see people trying to solve small problems with technology. But when you have 10, 12, 25 startups trying to solve each one a small problem, we have a big community of solutions. And for example, I have in my agenda, I need to find at least 2 startups per week that I get in contact with, because I want to learn with them. So I'm very involved in the startup business, and this is very crucial for the port that is so big, to bring these new ideas, new generation, new people to discuss problems and how to solve them. You are very good on the service you provide, but maybe 2 young guys are trying to solve something that will help the environment, of how the vessels are moving. And that's very important. For everyone watching us, I just want to make you jealous. Carlos, can you show your background? Because it's not white. Can you show your
Okay,
view?
well, the port is behind me. I don't know if you can see.
Yes, now they can
This is
see
the
your
north entrance of the port, more focusing on the rural ferries, quite close to the city. And well, it's a very nice landscape. We are privileged to see every single day these magnificent views. That's for sure.
no.
I'm not trying to put you jealous, but in any case, this is amazing. That's for sure. And coming backwards to your introduction or your uh, let's say discussion, it's not easy because at the end of the day, you mentioned we have a double vision. We have to take care of the short-term decisions that could be where the ports we are talking about in short terms, roughly speaking, we are thinking about 4 or 5 years, and long terms could be 15, 20, depending on each port and the essentials and so on. But because at the end of the day, as a port, it's not easy to build up a wharfage and the services. We have to think on it previous years ago, to draw, to publish, to be approved, and so on. It's not easy. But in any case, it's not easy. And in any case, I'm trying to share with you that as a port, we are applied to continuously monitoring the challenge for the short term and the long term. What's the next trends in order to reshape the port infrastructure, the services, not just the infrastructure, let's say not just the hardware, the software as well, in order to readjust the roadmap to continuous providing flexibility and guaranteeing, for instance, as we mentioned previously, the prosperity for the society or our surroundings. So imagine when we launched the first strategic plan that we were thinking on the current times, but the current times are not completely different, but are some deviation from the reality that in that period of time we thought. So we have to readjust for sure continuously our role, the trends, the challenge, and the roadmap to get this goal to provide again prosperity and flexibility to our supply chain and to our society, people at the end of the day. So and thanks to as a result of this new reality is the reason why, because we at the end of the day, we are a very important part of the economic engine in our surroundings. Port Barcelona launched, and as already told you, its fourth strategic plan, just to works to, because at the end of the day is the main goal to the sustainable development. So, and this is the reason why in this new strategic plan we add, let's say, the sustainable development goals from the different perspectives. You know, there is 17. We are directly involved with 13, and that at the end of the day, it's working towards the economic, the social, and the environmental development for our stakeholders, for our community, for our city, but at the end of the day, for the world at the end of the day, because it's our core responsibility to contribute to the people's welfare. So this is something that it's included in our mission, that again, it's something related to generate prosperity in our surroundings, in our community, increasing or continue to provide the competitiveness to our clients, to our stakeholders of the supply chain, from the sustainable point of view, to provide specific high levels logistics services. And as a vision, let me underline, because it's very, very smart, because it's a smart logistics hub, and it's the acronym. It's something related to the sustainability, multimodal. It's very important how to connect the port area to our hinterland, to our surroundings. Sustainable, we already mentioned. Agile, this is what the end users and stakeholders, all supply chain, are knocking the doors for the Port Authority. We want to be flexible, agile, rapid, resilient. Could be, it's a clear example how to be resilient, to transform, to adapt, to reshape your service to be to continuous providing efficiency. And transparency. Transparency, it's for the time being one of the pain in the neck of the end users, and it's something that we have to put our best efforts all around, all the players, to provide competitiveness via transparency, because the next generations are quite used to check in their mobile phone what's the next movement for my Amazon shipment, to give you an example. Some transparency we have to improve in such a way. I mean, this is roughly speaking what as a Port of Barcelona are doing for the next as a plans for the next months, for the next years.
This is very, very nice. I like the smart word, and everything is very related what the service the port is providing. As you said, Carlos, things are changing, and it's not changing only the way we transport. Maybe some people watching us now are gonna say it's not changing that much because we are moving by container and vessels, but in the end it's moving. The commodity is moving all the time. The type of commodity countries are moving. We are more responsible now with the society. We are not that thinking on that of the past. We were more okay, but now we know this is an obligation of everybody. And in the past, we were more doing for the business, but now that's very important. As you said,
Right.
new generation. They want to see the tracking. They want to see where is the cargo, where it's coming. So things are changing. This is why we are doing this content sharing. We had a conversation with some other startups in the TWE Connect, but I think it was very nice to bring a port, Carlos, because sometimes freight forwarders think that technology is only for the startups, but that's not true. We have a port that is one of the biggest entities in logistics, and
Yeah.
even being so big, you guys are thinking about how technology can evolve. So
Yeah.
it's about everyone. It's not only the startups, it's not only the youngs, it's everybody. The carriers are
That's for
thinking.
sure. In this sense, let me put some examples. Recently, it means last week,
Mhm.
we announced the project that it's called Puertos 4.0,
Mhm.
that is related with the new startups thinking on new solutions to provide better solutions for the supply chain. And for sure in Barcelona, there were 4 specific projects that are on the next path, on the next step in this, let's say, project of new startups that are launched by the Spanish Port Association. Well, for the port, Puertos del Estado. Okay, so this is something related how the startups, how the new, let's say, start entrepreneurship can help us to 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 be beyond to the current path for sure. So Fully agree with you, Guillermo. This is the next reality.
And we need to live it and respect it and fight for it. And that's our responsibility as logistics professional. Carles,
Good.
I would like to thank you so much for our talk. It was very nice to understand a little bit more about you and of course understand about the port. For me, it was not a surprise. I'm following you guys a lot, so I know all the good things you are doing. But of course, we have people from all over the world watching us, and they're gonna see a different perspective in how a port is working so hard to be updated, to thinking about the community, and show
Yeah.
transparency and providing a good service as well. So thank you
Yeah.
for your time, for your attention. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you to you. Let me just, before I finish my
Of course.
intervention, I would like to strongly recommend to all of your partners, all of your members of the
Mhm.
Twig
Twig.
network.
Mhm.
Yeah, Twig Connect. Sorry. Uh, have a look our web page,
Mhm.
because Barcelona, again, is the largest production and consumption area in the Iberian Peninsula and north and south of France, and it's very, very convenient for the freight forwarders. This is the kind of port that meets your needs, because it's focusing on the exports and import flows. It's very well balanced in terms of exports, imports, high value products, not with a flat seasonality. Very, very convenient for the all freight forwarders. Have a look.
Yes, of course. We're gonna send also information about the Port of Barcelona for all the members, for you watching all the informations of Carles, if you want to talk with him and also check the website. For all the Twig members in the Twig Connect, thank you for watching us. This talk, as I said, I'm gonna share the details of Port of Barcelona and Carles with you. Keeping watching all the talks and having a good meeting with all our members. And that's it. Carles, thank you so much. All the Twig Connect members, Twig members, thank you so much, and see you in the next talk.